Hey, what's happening everyone? Journeyman here and welcome back to We March On. This is episode 9 and it's going to be a end of January transfer window special. Now before we get to the transfers that we have made, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the fixtures since the last time you joined us. So we follow up with a great 2-2 result against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, with another very good result here, 2-0 against Liverpool at home. We actually played really well this game, created a lot of opportunities. Pity we couldn't score more, but nevertheless a 2-0 victory over Liverpool is never anything to sneeze at. Now, we follow that awesome display against Liverpool with a very disappointing one against Watford. They got a goal in the 23rd minute from Roberto Pereira, I think that's pronounced his name. Not quite sure, doesn't really matter. It was a disappointing display, and unfortunately, it carried over to the next match against Peterborough. We couldn't find the back of the nets. Peterborough, obviously 0-0 draw, so the replay is going to be played just a couple of weeks from now at home. So we should proceed nicely, and if we win that one, I believe we go on to play Bolton in the next round of the FA Cup. Alright, so let's get to those transfers in hand. Let's do first and foremost, let's talk about players leaving. First of all, Paulo Gazzaniga went to Brentford for a nominal fee. Wasn't very good, doesn't really matter. Then Ronaldo Vieira. Now, obviously, he just signed for the club, as you remember, from the last episode, but I decided to loan him out to get some more first-team experience, so he's gone on loan to Hull for the rest of the year. Next up was Florian Godos. Obviously, he was signing a couple of centre-halves, has made him a little bit obsolete, and I thought he might cash in on him anyways. 28 years old, not going to get any better, not really going to be a solid player in the Premier League, so we moved him on for, 3.4 million, so not bad business. Then the other big signing going outside, big selling player going out, is going to be Dusan Tadic. Sold him for about 12.5, with a potential raising up to 20 million over the next few years with incentives. Now, obviously, Dusan Tadic has been a staple of the Southampton side for a couple of years, ever since Ronald Koeman got to the club. And overall, he actually had a pretty solid season. 3 goals, no assists, a little bit disappointing for him. Average rating of 6.72, but I felt like the players we have coming in, I want to make room for James Ward-Prowse to get as much game time as possible, obviously with Højbjerg as well. So those creative players will take precedent over Dusan Tadic in the upcoming year. So I thought, why not cash in on him and maybe reinvest in different areas? Alright, and first player coming in after our defender Ure is going to be Kuki, another Spanish player. Very talented 18-year-old player, got a lot of potential. I'm sure a lot of you will recognize him if you play a lot of Football Manager 2017. Turns into a really good player. Can play 2 positions naturally, the advanced playmaker and the striker role. So his versatility is going to be very important for us going forward. Next one up is going to be Joe Gomez. Now, signed him for about £14.5 million. Now, seems like a lot of money again for a good young player, but it is English, so you got to think about overpaying for these players. He can play left back and right back comfortably, but he's only 19 years old, and he does, I think, will develop into a great Premier League centre half and a player that can kind of grow with the club. Now, obviously, this is kind of interesting because we're starting to do to Liverpool what Liverpool did to us, signing our best young players. And I actually have one more signing that you won't see. It won't happen until the end of the year. I've signed Trent Alexander. I can't remember his name now. Trent Alexander-Arnold. There you go. Trent Alexander-Arnold, the right fullback. Now, he will take the permanent position at right back next season. He's currently on loan to Southend right now, playing really well for them as well. 2 appearances, average rating of 7.9. He's just a very good young right back. Got a lot of potential. Very excited by this signing. And going forward, he'll be the number 1 right back once the season has ended. Alright, and last but not least, this was a deadline day signing, Lewis Cook. Now, unfortunately, a lot of players on midfielders went down through injury, suspension, illness, things like that. So I had to bring in another centre midfielder, and Lewis Cook does fit the bill. Very well-rounded. In a couple of years, he's going to be probably the most well-rounded centre midfielders in the Premier League, or at least one of them. Obviously, he has some really good traits. Run the ball through the centre, curls the ball, comes deep to get the ball. So he's a very creative talent in the middle of the midfield, and it's really good to have him on board. It's the first time of me actually managing him in Football Manager 2017, so I'm interested to see how well he develops and how quickly he does. I did spend a lot of money on him. I basically bought him for about 14 million up front, and then potentially 11 million over time, depending on performances, etc. But he's only 19 years old. He's got a big future ahead of him, and hopefully he can develop into a really nice player for us. All right, so that completes the transfers for the season. So this is the squad going into the second half of the campaign. We currently sit 9th in the Premier League, as you can see, 36 points to our name. We take on Newcastle today, who are struggling right now with only 18 points, only 4 wins to speak of. So it's going to be, hopefully we'll get back to winning ways, because obviously the loss against Watford and the draw against Peterborough were very, very disappointing results. You may notice we have 3 players who are injured right now. Lamina unfortunately broke his ankle on international duty. He's going to be out for 3 to 4 months. Højbjerg is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a lower back stress fracture, which sounds awfully painful. Then we have Luan, who's going to be out 5 days to 2 weeks. He'll be back pretty soon, but at least this gives us a chance to take a look at Lewis Cook in midfield, and obviously give us a look at Kuki as well as potential players to start games in the Premier League. So anyway, going into today's game, obviously, I'm expecting a win today up against Newcastle. 1 second, transfer pass. Oh, yeah, do registered thing. Confirm the selection. There you go. Perfect. Everything looks great. All right. So, going up against Newcastle today, away from home. I hate these freaking questions. Honestly, they've got to change. Hopefully, they'll change the media for the next installment of the game, because the media questions are far too repetitive. And honestly, it's just dull. It's the part of the game I absolutely hate the most. So anyway, let's see if we can skip through this real quick. All right. So going into today's game, this is how we're going to line up. Debuchy is going to play right back pretty much the remainder of the season. He is cup tied, however, so that gives us a chance to take a look at a young right back named Jan Valery, who has potential to be a 3.5 star. Potentially 4.5 star player if he develops nicely over time. I'll have to keep an eye on him. But again, he's going to be struggling for minutes when Trent Alexander-Arnold comes in. All right, so anyway, right back to Debuchy, Vida, Yoshida, Bertrand, no surprise there. Midfield of Romeo, Davis, Classy, with Ward-Prowse, Gabbiadini, and Charlie Austin up top. So on the bench, you can see Joe Gomez, Ure, Lewis Cook, and Kuki, all those new signings that we had in the January transfer window. Matthew Target will be on the bench as well. As you can see with the injuries for centre midfielders, unfortunately, we are a little low on numbers there, and I can't call back Ronaldo Vieira because he has a non-callback clause in his loan agreement. But anyway, going into today's game, I want to get a win. I don't like 5, let's do 11. Perfect. All right, so you go into today's game, should be a pretty comfortable victory. They're a very tough team, though. They've got some very cracking individual players up top. Claudio Pizarro can still do it despite his age, 38 years old now. Perez is a very, very talented attacking midfielder. Matt Ritchie is super creative on the right wing, and Christian Atsu is just an absolute speed demon, 18 and 17 on his pace attributes. So he's a really good player, honestly, in Football Manager. So we're going to have to keep an eye on his matchup with Debuchy, who's a little bit older and a little bit slower than he is. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that one. All right, so here we go, kicking things off at St. James Park. Let's get a victory, Saints. Come on, boys. All right, corner kick here. Richie's going to whip this ball in, and Sarve raises highest, and he scores. Harry Sarve gets his first goal of the season. Disappointing keeping there from Fraser Forster. Take another look at this replay here. Looks like he got underneath the ball and couldn't beat the centre half. He's 6'7". He should be collecting those in the air. But yeah, no man's land there, and Sarve snuck in there to make it 1-0 to Newcastle. All right, here's a chance here. Ward-Prowse going to whip it in. Lascelles with the clearance, only as far as Jordi Classy. See what Jordi Classy, a little bit isolated there. See if we can find someone, but he gives the ball away before he gets a chance. Bertrand does well to win it back, but Richie gathers the ball here. Richie drives forward. Good tackle there from Mare. He's been actually very present since he came into the team. Here's a chance for Charlie Austin. Shoots, and what a goal that is from Charlie Austin. Did not see that coming at all. What a goal. 6th goal of the season now for Charlie Austin. Take another look at this replay. Ball came forward. Smashed it with his right foot into the top corner net. Picked that one out, son. Did not see that one coming. All right, here, just before halftime here. Be a very poor time to concede. Richie crosses it in. Vida makes a clearance, but it'd be a great time to score. Let's see if we can do it. Gabbiadini drive forward here to Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse to Romeo. Romeo goes by his man, shoots. Oh, underside the bar. Almost a rare goal for Romeo. Good effort there. Great build-up play from James Ward-Prowse as well. Doing very, very well in the attacking playmaker role. So halftime is here. It is 1-1. So we're doing pretty well so far, to be honest with you. We're actually playing very nice football, creating a lot of opportunities. Just got to avoid making defensive mistakes, and we should be able to maybe sneak a goal in the second half and get a victory. All right, 61 minutes on the clock. Let's make a quick substitution. I'm actually going to give Lewis Cook his debut today. He's going to play as a deep line playmaker. He's definitely more of a playmaker role kind of a player. So he's going to do that job with next to Mare and Classy should be doing just fine. Stephen Davis comes off. It's had a pretty solid game so far, 6.7. But decided I'm going to have Lewis Cook a bit of a run out. No, I think that's going to be it just for now. Let's keep an eye on the fitness levels though, because they are quite down right now, because it was the Peterborough game a few days ago was played, so they're a little tired from the last game. Hopefully it doesn't come to bite us on the butt late on. Ball goes back to Forster here. Back to Bertrand. Options ahead of him. Finds Ward-Prowse in space. He drives forward to Romeo to Bushi, gets to the corner of the... Oh, good cross there. And Charlie Austin there hit the outside of the post. Unlucky there from Charlie Austin. He's actually played really, really well so far in the second half of the season. Kind of surprising. Obviously, Luan going down, he has benefited tremendously. Another player that's benefited from the selling so far is Mare Yoshida. Has been really good. Here's a chance. Oh, what a goal that is, James Ward-Prowse. Obviously, he is known for his set-piece capabilities, and that is why. What a goal. That's his 5th goal of the season now for JWP. Take another look at this again. Whipped it into the top corner. He's got the captain's armband on right now as well. I can definitely see him being a stalwart of the Southampton team for years to come. Oh, that's another chance as well. Mare Yoshida hit the crossbar, and we're starting to really take over. Look at those match stats. 15 shots to their 4, 58 possession. Looking really good. All right, here's another chance. Prowse crops it in. No one's at the edge of the area, and this sets up a counter-attack opportunity for Newcastle with Jordy Classett as well to snuff out any possible danger. Let's see if Forster finds Bertrand. He's been quietly pretty good today. Back to Debussy at right back to Prowse to Austin. Austin to Jordy Classy. Oh, that's a good chance. Should have really done a much better, that Jordy Classy. Have I got one knock on him so far this season? He hasn't scored enough goals. But apart from that, he's actually been really, really good this season. The chance isn't over yet, though. Hopefully it won't be an opportunity for Newcastle to equalise. Mankilo gets to the bar line. Cross it into Mitrovic, who scores. Commentator's curse. There it is, 2-2. Mitrovic getting a goal in the 79th minute of the game. We got time to change this. All right, so what we're gonna do? Let's bring off Romeo. Let's put James Ward-Prowse in there, and let's put Kuki as the advanced playmaker. Now he's a natural at that role. Let's give him a team talk as well. Tell him we have faith in his ability. See if we can really give him a little bit of a morale boost. Alright, balls to Gabbiadini. Well, Prowse was offside. Never mind, 2 minutes gone in extra time, so that's probably going to be it there. 2-2 results. Obviously disappointing, consider how well we played to concede very, very cheaply. Obviously, selling Van Dijk has given us a little bit of an issue at the back line. Mare Yoshida did okay in his absence, but Vida has not been the same player since Van Dijk left at all. So that's a little bit concerning, something to keep an eye on in the upcoming weeks. And good news as well, we received £1 million from the Luke Shaw deal, so that's all good news coming in. But anyway, coming up in the next couple of games, we're going to have West Ham, Peterborough, Manchester United, and Manchester City, and then we're supposed to go up against Bournemouth in the next fixture. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come back for the Man City game, because that's a hell of a lot more interesting than playing Bournemouth again. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. What do you think of the January signings? Obviously, a lot of money has been poured into youth talent. I have that in mind just because I want to build a club around certain youth players that want to stay with the club and play for the club, because there are a lot of players in the team that just weren't interested in playing for Southampton. Cedric, Dusan, Virgil van Dijk. These are all players that, while are wonderful talents, weren't really vested interest in Southampton Football Club. So I brought in some younger players. Maybe they can be the future of the team. But anyway, yeah, what do you guys think? My transfers, obviously I've overpaid for a lot of them. You haven't got to tell me that. But I felt like, hey, why not? This is going to be a last major save for FM17. So why not go big or go home? But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, remember to smash that like button. If you want to see more videos by me in the future, remember to hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next part. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.